Sometimes you can just be in a funk creatively, as a person, and it's like there's a fog around you and you can't see out of it, but that's part of the journey.
Week 7 is going to be the second consecutive night game on the road. This one's going to be a 4:30 p.m. cast at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette. We're going to see a Purdue squad on a 3-game win streak. They opened the season 1-2 with the Indiana State victory sandwiched in between an opening Penn State loss 35-31 and a loss at Syracuse 32-29. But the past 3 games with a Florida Atlantic victory 28-26. They did beat a good Minnesota team at the time 20-10, and they just last week beat Maryland 31-29. This by far is going to be the best team we've played all year. A very balanced, seasoned team. And it's going to be a hostile environment and a sellout there at Purdue. But before we keep going, let's recap. For a moment, it looked like we were going to sink back to our previous thought patterns and disappointments when we entered the halftime down 13-0, but this team came back with a will, desire, and effort to score 14 unanswered, and I've been really impressed with the defense the past two games, how they've shut down the opposing offenses. Granted, it was against Indiana and Rutgers. Some key takeaways: line has definitely got to improve. They've got to, at least if the man in front of you, you've got to make that block. You can't let any free defenders come through. Another impressive thing that stood out was Palmer again made a clutch play. We can probably start calling him Mr. Buckets. Every time you have a leak in the ceiling or a leak in the coverage or an emergency, you're going to be grabbing that bucket. So Mr. Buckets, a.k.a. Palmer, number 3, needs to make another clutch play, and maybe we'll fill that bucket up against Purdue. I really like running back Grant, the number 1 JUCO running back coming in to this year. He runs hard. He finds holes even when there's nothing there. And he sure knows how to make plays when they count. Needless to say, this was a good building block. Nebraska against Rutgers. They've won 2 games in a row now, which has been forever. I can't even remember. They came through, and I think this team is starting to really buy in, and the belief is there. You can really see that mantra standing out, that they're always in the fight. You're always in the fight. Shoot, if they swing, you swing back, swing harder. I really like how this team has fought back against the adversity and the way the cards were stacked against them here at the beginning of the year of all the changes. But this team is really growing, and I can really see them coming together as they approach this game here in West Lafayette at Purdue at 4:30 p.m. on BTN. Hopefully, their moniker for Wednesday, Turnover Wednesday. So they have gotten, 4 picks in the last 2 games. We definitely need to get some turnovers rolling. We're going to need at least 2 turnovers. We're going to need some type of score on a kick return, punt return, or a block punt, or a block field goal. We're going to need some big plays out of that special teams to keep us in the game. And you never know, this team may be gravitating towards success. What do they say? A good football team, you start out, you get blown out in losses, then you start losing some close games, then you start winning some close games, and then you actually start winning the big games. Start winning blowouts. So you never know, maybe this game's going to be another close win, and then we're going to start seeing some more advances on the winning side. But the sky's the limit for this team. This Cornhusker squad that's got a lot of fight in them, and you can see that these past 2 weeks that they really have a lot of fight. Purdue's going to be a really tough opponent. The last week at Maryland, they were playing neck and neck all the way down to the 4th quarter. Maryland came back and scored a late touchdown. Failed on the 2-point conversion, which ended up being the game, 31-29. Purdue, however, is shown to give up pass yards, passing plays. Their defense, although tough, is not unbreakable. and not completely dominant. Nebraska does have a chance with this offense as long as we can stay balanced. With the way our O-line is playing, they've got to make some blocks. They got to open up some holes for Grant and give him a chance to make some key nice runs that we know his talent can bring. Purdue's quarterback, Caden O'Connor, he's been there for 6 years, the same amount of years that Jeff Brom has been there. He's throwing the ball at a 66.7% rate. He was a backup from last year. Jack Plummer, he ended up transferring to Cal, where he's doing pretty good over there. I think a key emphasis of this game is shutting down the run, which their running back, DeRue, he could still be out with an injury. They had a walk-on running back that he's injured, and he'll be out for this game. So they have their third stringer who's also a walk-on. So it looks promising for Nebraska's defense to shut the run down, but we still have to be able to do that. Make them one-dimensional and let our pass rushers get after them. Garrett Nelson needs to come up with a few key rushes, a couple sacks. We need a couple sacks from O'Shawn, and definitely some good hurries from our top three rushers in Tanner, Nelson, and Mathis. Purdue definitely has some capable receivers. They have a good tight end, number 87. They also have an Iowa transfer, Jones, who's top 10 in all the three main stats for receivers in the nation. He's got at least 50 catches, ranking him third, and his yardage puts him in the top 10 as well, and also as well as touchdowns. He's on the list for the Blitnikoff Award as well. Purdue always they've started the first quarter strong. First drives have always been pretty good, like Nebraska. Purdue has outscored opponents in the first quarter 50-10, and conversely, Nebraska has outscored opponents in the fourth quarter 49-17. So we'll see how this game plays out. I see a high-scoring back-and-forth affair, and it's definitely going to be closer than the odds maker think. My prediction is Nebraska's going to be down late in the fourth quarter, 38-34, and they're going to come from behind and score a winning touchdown to buckets, Trey Palmer buckets. In this true hostile environment in West Lafayette, Nebraska's going to come out firing. They're going to stick together as a team through all the ups and downs that they've been through, and this game's going to be nonetheless. I'm going to go take this prediction off in the past 5 meetings between Purdue and Nebraska. The road team has won 4 out of the 5 games. There's been 4 wins from the road team. We're going to take it as the road team, and Nebraska's going to win this 41-38 for a tie in the Big Ten West at number 1. Nebraska's going to start inching closer and closer to a team that Trev's not going to have an option. This is going to be Mickey's team. Mickey's team next year as well. Let's go, Big Red.